If your ink's too slow and your nib won't flow, here's one of the places that you can go. Larry is here to see you through with Mr. Announcer and Cubby too. It's Larry's Fountain Pen Reviews.
Hello, my good friends. Larry here, and welcome back to Larry's Fountain Pen Zoom Pen Hangout. Yeah, I'm back. It's time to get back in the show, and I'm excited about it. I'm pumped up about it. And today, I am going to introduce to you in a few minutes a friend of mine that is going to have a lot to share with you guys. So I hope you guys are listening, because what he has to say is some really cool, important stuff. And if you're a pen lover, you're gonna love it. So let me welcome Mr. Frank from Federalist Pens and Paper. Frank.
Ta-da! Hey, Larry.
Hey, how you doing, bud?
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
All right, Frank, I'm going to turn it over to you, my friend. It's your show.
Okay. Once again, thanks for having me. I wanted to concentrate this session with us on more about my exclusive stuff, my custom stuff, things like that. I know you got something recently in the mail that you're very happy to get, our collaboration from Hines Pens with Jim Hines. You want to show yours?
Yes, I want to show mine. First of all, it comes in a cool box. That's all they sent me. So, yeah, Frank and Jim got together and they played Santa Claus to me. And it comes in like this, which I will be reviewing. And look at this stunning, beautiful, gorgeous pen to die for. Now, you got to say this. It is stunning. You got to say again, it is gorgeous, for real. Once you get this in your hands, you're going to say, Larry, you were right again. Of course, I'm always right. Yeah, and Frank is very picky on the pens that he sells. So he had to make sure this was right for him. And let me tell you, it was right on the money. Jim, thank you, buddy. Frank, thank you.
Sure, man. So here's the one that I'm actually using, which is mostly red. What I'm really trying to point out is that, you know, these are custom pens and no two are alike. So we've been working on this for well over a year. COVID hit. We talked about doing a collaboration, you know, in 2019, and then COVID hit. And then, of course, there was no pen shows up until, you know, this past summer. Between that and a couple, you know, things going on here and there between Jim and me, we just couldn't seem to connect. And then finally, when the shows came back, we talked last summer in Raleigh and Miami and all. And he was like, you know, do you want to do this collaboration? I'm sure. I said, you know, I want to do this custom pen with you. You recommended him, and I've seen his work, and we had already become friends at the pen shows and all that. Him and Francisco and all, you know. So a couple, you know, samples that he gave me in trial and error and stuff like that. And finally, by Detroit, there was a working sample that I loved, this pen, and I was like, you know, let's go for it. And they pour the resins, him and Elise. Elise's wife helps him out with that. And, you know, no two are alike. And I send him my custom Bach nibs that have my logo on it. He anodizes them. I have the combination of using the dark blue trim, as you see in your pen there. This is based on his Americana model. I've called it the Stars and Stripes. It's on my site. It's also on Hines Pen's site. Yep, it's based on that model. It's called the Stars and Stripes. You can view it and order it from his site. You can launch it to my site and order it. You know, I have a 4-in-1 plan payment. I have it through several things, through Shopify Pay, through Zip, which used to be Quad Pay. There's like 2 or 3 ways. You could also do it through PayPal. PayPal also has the 4-in-1. There's 3 different ways to pay in time on my site. You can do that. The regular nibs are $250, and then the custom pens that I get ground from Nib Grinder, Mark Bacchus, are $280. I'm not profiting off of the custom ground. That's what I was getting at on my Facebook post. This is a pen that is part of a U.S. supply chain. The The only thing that's coming overseas is the German Bach nib. You know, we have the German Bach nib coming in, and I have my US contact for that. We know, Larry, you and I, that's Grifos. Our friend Chris Stevens has been on here. Chris allows a group buy with me and other makers and dealers to get nibs in. Bach has a minimum purchase requirement, which is much more than Jovo's, which is a lot of reasons why makers will deal with Jovo instead of Bach, because of the minimum requirements. You have to buy hundreds of nibs. So we overcome that by doing a group buy. We do that a few times a year, group buy. I then send some of my nibs off to Mark Backus to have ground either as his cursive stub italic, the CSI nib, or as an italic stub. I get them in. I sell nibs. I sell nibs, Bach and Jovo compatible. I sell them separately. I sell nibs with my logo. I sell nibs with just the Bach stag logo, the deer. I get them ground by Mark. He will do either the CSI nib or the italic stub. I sell them on my site. What I have to do is I have to send my nibs off to Jim. Jim will make the pens, and he will then anodize the nibs. He won't anodize separate nibs. He has to sell them with the pen, so we have that agreement. Jim's involved with a maker now, and I'll get into that later a little bit. I'm not going to reveal who it is, but Jim's finally getting the recognition he deserves. He's actually getting involved with a known pen brand, just like another maker that we know, Jonathan Brooks, Carolina. Larry, we'll get into that later with the wonderful, beautiful Visconti pen that you got recently. We'll get into that. But before we do, let's talk more about Stars and Stripes. Again, like I said, my own custom pen exclusive through me that I will either sell you for $250 or $280. Needless to say, obviously, between getting 2 or 3 other people involved with this pen, I'm not making a lot of money on this pen, and that's fine. I don't want to sell this pen for $300, $400. I could, I probably could get it. I don't want to. I want it to be affordable. So I've agreed to make so much on this pen, you know, to myself, and I'm not profiting on the nib or on the grind. I'm basically selling the pen for what Jim and I agreed on is a good price for that pen, no matter what kind of nib is on it. And like I said, it could be ordered from his site or from mine. If you go to his site, you would see it. It'll launch you right to my site to order it. So again,
So right there for me. So they're going to go to Jim's site. They look at the pen.
Yeah.
They want it. They buy it. They click on it. They order it. It goes straight to you. And
straight
then
to
you
my
get-
site. Yeah, right. They can also go to my site directly. You can find it on my site. You can find it on his site. Either one.
Or you can go straight to Frank's site. There are 2 ways to do it. Very simple.
Yep. We made 12 pens to start. You got one. He's keeping one as his sample. That shows and all. So I have 10. I'm down to 6 now. I've sold a few already between the Ohio show where they debuted at. We sold a couple there. I just sold a couple as well. And, you know, I have this. So what I want to do is I want to show everybody the pens that I still have, the 6 that I have remaining. There's nibs for them. I'm not worried about nibs because the nibs basically can be swapped out. They are Bach nibs. They unscrew, you know. This is pen 1. So what you do is after you see this video, and if I still have it, you can choose it. You can email me. You know, my site, like I said, my site says no 2 pens are alike. This is pen 1. You can see there's a lot of red in the middle of this one, mostly red in the cap. This is pen 1. In case you want to pick your pen. Pen 2 really has a lot of the red, white, and blue better spread out. A lot of blue on the top part of the cap. That's pen 2. Again, if it doesn't matter to you, that's fine. I will send you the one I tout that, again, no 2 are alike. But if you do want to pick out your body, I'm allowing you to do that, you know, as my viewers here. With you, Larry, we can do that. Pen 3, I'm designating as this one, has a lot of white in the barrel. Again, red, white, and blue. I was going for a patriotic theme here, which is why I'm calling it Stars and Stripes. Again, based on his Americana model. Love that clip. He has like that, they call it like a skyline clip. You know, it's almost got like that Parker-esque style to it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it has, there we go. There's a good view of that clip. Again, anodized blue along with my nib. The nib is my logo, my Federalist Pens logo, with the FP on the nib on either side of the time, with the design that Nadine actually hand drew for me years ago when we decided to do this. And that's on my banner as well. That's on this nib. We've copyrighted that. I've protected my logo by copyright law. Since my nib is coming from overseas and all engraved, I don't want any risk. I don't want anyone coming from overseas anywhere with that logo. The logo is hand drawn. It is copyrighted. It is owned by Nadine, authorized by me, designed by me, but hand drawn by Nadine. So officially it's her copyright. But we have it. And again, I have certificates for that. It's protected by US copyright law. You can't copy my logo. This is pen 4. Again, a real nice mix. Again, Elise pours this. You know, the blanks come as they come after they're cured. They're cut, they're turned. No two are alike. You will get different variations of red, white, and blue. All these pens have a really, really nice combination of that. This is pen 5. It has a lot of red in the center. Again, if that matters to you and you order soon, you know, after we see this, you'll see a lot of blue here towards the end of this on this one. There's a lot of blue.
They're all beautiful, every one of them. Stunning.
Everyone, yeah.
Everyone's stunning.
And then last one, number 6, actually has a lot of red in the cap, like the one I was showing you guys earlier. A lot of red in this cap here for number 6. I still have regular nibs. I have extra fine, fine, and broad in stock and regular. And I have some cursive stub italics in fine and broad available here. So again, you choose the nib that's still available. We will make more pens as they sell. I have that agreement that this pen is mine. I can keep making them. If you want a custom one, if you ask for a nib that I don't have available right now, you can email me and ask that. What will happen is we will go through the process of me getting that nib off to Mark Backus. Mark will then send it back to me. I will send it off to Jim. Jim will make the pen in the meantime. Jim will anodize it and complete it. We're estimating about 4 or 5 week turnaround, about 30 days or so. By the time you order a complete custom pen, they're actually getting it made from scratch. So we can do that. We can make that happen. You will get, when you order the pen, just like Larry, you showed, you will get Jim's box. You will get his card showing you the Heinz pen. Yep, you will get that. Inside will be Jim's card, his warranty card, basically. What he does, he tells you, thanks for having that handy. Yeah, I actually had my boxes aside to show this tray and all. What's on the back there is actually a do's and don'ts about the nib, about how to clean it, what ink to use and what ink not to use. I'm not going to get into that. I sell some of these inks. We're not getting into that, but you can pretty much gather that you don't want a acidic, harsh ink on this nib. So certain inks won't work with this. And Jim makes it very clear about what inks to use, what inks not to use. And he talks about, you know, if you properly clean it, if you properly maintain it, this anodization will not wear off and the pen will give you years and years of service. There's a warranty from me, there's a warranty from him. If you decide to get a custom nib from Nib Grinder, Mark Backus, you are going to get in there that warranty card from Jim. Of course, you know you're going to get my business card. I own Federalist Pen's business card, complete with my phone number. If you order ink, I actually give, or a book, I actually give you my bookmark, which is a combination bookmark blotter. You're also going to get, if you order a custom nib from Mark Backus Nib Grinder, you are going to get Mark's card, his warranty card on here, where he guarantees his work. And if there's a problem with the nib, he will look into it. You'll get a sticker too, Nib Grinder.
And may I intervene for a minute? And for those who do not know Mark Backus, he's an incredible nib guy, just incredible, stunning. He knows his work. He's a pro. And this is what he does. So, when you get one of his nibs, again, you're going to say, Larry, you're right. Okay. Thank you, Frank.
Sure. Thank you. He's a great guy. He's from Georgia. He comes to the Philly Pen Show. The Philly Pen Show is a go. It's 4 weeks away. It's going to be January 14th, 15th, and 16th. It's coming up in 4 weeks. It's that middle weekend in January. So looking forward to that. I'll see him. That's run by our friend Scott Franklin, who arguably is the most successful pen maker ever. It's a corporation. He employs a lot of people. It is a business. I've been in the hobby a long time. I appreciate custom pen makers very much. Back in my forum running days, when I was just a hobbyist, 10 years ago, when I first started my interest in pens, in fountain pens, that is. I've been interested in pens my whole life, more or less, but my interest in fountain pens roughly in the last 15 years. I discovered pen forums. I discovered the ability to repair vintage pens and sell them on pen forums and eBay. I used to run my own pen forum called the Fountain Pen Community. And Jake, I did send the link to that. You can post that, here at a later time. That forum is considered in archive mode. That's why it says the fountainpencommunity.activeboard.com. I had a host who I basically pay very little fees now to keep it dormant, to keep it shut down. You can't add anything new to it. The good news is I'm not looking for contributions anymore. It's on there. If you follow that link, you can go right to it. You can see me. You can see a lot of people that you probably know of, younger, just getting their start. A lot of pen makers. Edison, Brian Gray was a big contributor. So was Sean Newton Benz. Sean was just getting started. Sean was still teaching for it full time, like I was back then. So we had a lot in common. We had a lot to talk about. Around this time, I, of course, was into vintage pens. I was in the Esterbrook's, of course. My favorite vintage pens are Esterbrook, Schaefer, Wall, Eversharp, Skyline. And I still have them. I still repair them from time to time. I sell them. I still have parts. If you're interested, contact me, email me, back channel. I can help you out with that. One of the first things that I did, which was unheard of, around 2009, I solicited a couple of pen makers to make me a custom pen, a nib holder basically, that would accommodate an Esterbrook section. This is that pen, which was finally made in 2010 by someone named Chris Hughes, Appleman. He's Appleman on pen forums and on Reddit and on Twitter and on a lot of things. Is Chris Hughes, Appleman. What he did was I sent him, he was the one willing to do it for the best buck at that time. So what I did was I sent him an original Esterbrook J section. And what he did was, here we go. He threaded that pen. Yes, sacrilege. He threaded that Esterbrook section to take a modern kitless body. So what he did was we took a Parker. This is an old vintage Parker. I think he told me it's a 17 converter. Yes, I'm not going to go out on a limb and say you could put Parker converters on all Esterbrook sections. This is glued on here to make it hold, but it did seem to fit. So this is a Parker 17 squeeze converter, very large, fits this barrel and cap very nicely. So again, this is a vintage Esterbrook J section. I could take any Esterbrook nib and put it on here. I do sell Esterbrook Nibs, people. I sell that. I sell the modern Esterbrook pen through Kenro, the modern Esterbrook that they have. I have them. So I have them. I sell Esterbrook Nibs. I can source them well. I'm here in South Jersey in Camden County. I'm in Esterbrook country. I'm where Esterbrook factory existed in Camden, New Jersey, and later in Cherry Hill. I'm here in this area. I do come across NOS unused nibs in their green and their red boxes quite frequently. So I can sell them. So this pen, as you can see, nice girth, nice width to it. This pen compared to Jim's pen, and Larry, you can appreciate it's just a little more girth, but this Jim's pen is a little bit longer. And I know when you do your review, you'll get into specs about
Yes, I will.
the length and the grams and all that good stuff. And you can see Jim's pen's a little bit longer. This is more of a Heinz pen. So I wanted to share with you guys, that I arguably created the first Esterbrook interchangeable custom pen. And I did this I came up with this concept 12 years ago. It was made in 2010. You can read about this. You can read about this on FPN. You can also read about this on my old forum, the Fountain Pen Community, TFPC. That's why I'll use that acronym. That's why I'll use that as a forum discount code and all. I was Frank or Frankie X. You guys might know me as Frankie X on FPN days. I was on there from 2007 to 2015 as Frankie X before I became Frank Federalist Pens. Federalist Frank was a joke. It was an in-your-face to Facebook. I'm a history teacher. I'm a history teacher by trade. I was a full-time history teacher. When I stopped being that, I did a couple of other things. I still adjunct a couple of nights a week as a class. I teach networking now. I teach computer networking. Federalist Pens was basically named after my love of history, after Alexander Hamilton, after Alexander Hamilton's Federalist Party. Alexander Hamilton, one of our favorite founding fathers, basically, he created arguably America's first political party. He created the Federalist Papers. Those that followed him and his philosophies became the Federalist Party. And those that went against him basically became known as anti-federalists. That wasn't actually a good name, but the followers of Jefferson originally called themselves that. When that quickly became obvious that wasn't a good name for a political party, they decided to call themselves the Democratic Republicans. And when Jefferson became president, they just dropped that to the Democratic Party. Hamilton, of course, as we know, was killed in the duel with the vice president at that time, Burr. And basically the Federalist Party more or less died after that. They died along with him. By 1810, 1812, the Federalist Party really wasn't an organized party and didn't exist anymore. For a while there, we had one party, and then came the Whigs later in the 1830s, 1840s. And then, of course, the 1850s, the anti-slavery party, the abolitionists, became known as the Republican Party. There's your short history lesson from Frank, but that's why I'm named Federalist Pens. It's really not a political statement. It's my love of history, and I live in Philly, and we wanted something based on that, and I couldn't name myself. I was thinking about, I'm Franklin Xavier because I was thinking about Ben Franklin. Quickly realized that Scott Franklin was not going to appreciate that, our buddy that runs the Philly Pen Show. He is a descendant of Ben Franklin, Scott Franklin, Franklin Christoph Pens. That wasn't going to wash. And I couldn't call myself Colonial Pens because there is a big insurance company here in Philly, Colonial Pen Group. If you're from the area, you know which one I'm talking about. And so I just settled on Federalist. And I went with Federalist Frank because Mark Zuckerberg sent me a form letter, a canned form letter when I first started Facebook with Federalist Pens only. It's like, you need a personal profile to be tied with. So it was never my intention to be on social media. When Facebook first came about and first became popular, I was like 40 years old and still teaching. And I used to joke about with my kids and all that, like a 40-year-old single man has no business on Facebook. So that was always my joke. So I never intended to be on social media. So when I created the business, I realized I had to be on social media. And when I got this letter, Mark and I were like kidding around and saying, what do we do? What can I call myself? I didn't want my real name out there. I really didn't. So we decided on Federalist Frank. And Federalist Frank for a while there became bigger than Federalist Pens. It became like a following. It was a joke. A lot of people started at shows were like, why are you the Federalist? What's all that? And I just started moving away from Federalist Frank and all. So, but I appreciate the history. I appreciate the Federalist Party. Why it was created. It was for more for rights and privileges and things like that. And again, it's not really meant to be a statement. It was meant to show my love history, to have something different. My middle name's Xavier. I'm a Francis Xavier. That's why I'm Franklin Xavier Group. That's why I'm Frank Xavier on Facebook. So there's your history lesson about me too, and my history. So my segue there with Alexander Hamilton is a great segue into my next adventure. It was actually my first one with our friend Alan Shaw. Alan Shaw is a well-known maker in the Philadelphia area, Shaw Pens. He is one of the first older makers. He's been around basically a good 10 years now. Actually more than that, yeah. He's been making pens a good 10 years, Shaw Pens. So I worked with him because he actually is well respected in the DC area. Alan actually makes pens for the government. He makes pens for the White House. He's met presidents. He makes presidential pens. He makes pens for the Smithsonian. He's well liked and well respected. Yes, he works with kits, but he is probably the best known kit pen maker of all of them. So Alan makes kit pens, but this pen is based on his Patriot pen. This is a pen that I have. This is the Hamilton one because Hamilton is known for wearing a green suede jacket. That's in his portraits. Also, of course, because he's the father of our banking and money system. So I decided to make that one green for Hamilton. This is the Hamilton pen that I sell. This is based on the Patriot pen. It is a very hefty 60-gram ballpoint, very heavy. It comes in more than 2 ounces, on the troy ounce scale. Larry knows this. If you like heavy pens, this is your ballpoint. I put an Easy Flow 9000 in here. And I'm going to show you the colors it comes in. So the green is Hamilton. On one side, we have Alexander Hamilton in script, and on the other side we have Federalist Pens and Paper, and these custom ballpoints come in at $99 on my site. This is the Hamilton green. We have Thomas Jefferson blue. Blue for a lot of reasons, mainly in this area in Philly. There's a Jefferson Health System, which you may be aware of in the Philly area, Delaware Valley. So Jefferson comes in blue here. The Jefferson Health System is in blue. Again, Phyllis Pens here. So blue for Jefferson. James Madison, who basically helped Hamilton with the Federalist Papers. Black, he was very stern. He wore black all the time. So Madison comes in here all black with gold trim here. So Federalist Pens and James Madison here on this side. So again, there's my Madison pen in the black. And for our founding father, our first president, George Washington, who really did not involve himself in a political party because he was our first president. There were no parties. They evolved under the Washington administration. Again, those that followed Hamilton's philosophies became the Federalists. Those that went with Mr. Jefferson were known as the Anti-Federalists, and they were all members of his cabinet. They were all his advisors. Our founding father here, George Washington, comes in deep purple for the Purple Heart, which wounded veterans get for their service and their bravery. So I decided to make the Washington pen dark purple. So those are my 4 ballpoints that I have in collaboration with, like I said, Alan Shaw, Shaw Pens. You could see him. You could see these on his website as well. When you order a Shaw ballpoint, you will get the certificate of authenticity here that Alan created it, along with my business card, of course. So I wanted to show that as well. There's my other collaboration. I'm going to be working on more collaborations. Let's talk about my nibs. Let's talk about that. Since we started talking about nibs, let's look at them. I have nibs that I offer in stainless steel. These are the ones that Jim Hines wants to get, of course, in stainless, because he really can anodize stainless nibs better. You have to basically remove the gold from the gold plating from them to do that. And it's not an easy process. It's actually more work and more expensive. So it's just easier working with steel nibs from the get-go, which is why I told you it might take a long time for you to get your custom pen. If you want a nib that I don't normally have in stock right now, they have to go through the trouble of getting it, setting it off, etc. So I have stainless nibs in extra fine, fine, medium, and broad on hand, in stainless, and also in yellow and rose gold. They're on the site, they're on hand. You could order them. They are $30. Plating honestly costs more. The rise of gold has even caused plating to go up. This is why you'll see on the site that a lot of your favorite brands will charge more for yellow or gold plated nibs now, because yes, gold costs have caused the plating prices to go up. Usually like $5 a nib. So that's passed on. I also offer Bacchus ground nibs in both plated and unplated. I have italic stub nibs, my logo. You'll see there, Federalist Pens. And I know Larry and Jake, I've sent some pictures off to you guys too to look at as well. I also have it, like I mentioned, in gold as well. So there's actually a Bach nib that's actually rose gold. The Bach stag on that one. I have some Bach regular nibs as well that I'll have either unground, standard, medium, or I'll also have them ground either as stub or CSI that you can find on the site frequently. If they're available, I'll have them listed there. There are some in stock. You can check that out on the site under my exclusives. You can find them also under nibs. I sell all kinds of nibs. I do sell nibs. I will sell Monteverdi and Conklin nibs. I will sell their flex as well as their regular nibs. I will sell these Bach nibs. I will sell the nibs that I have my logo on them. I also sell Canwright Yovo compatible nibs. I have them as well. I'm involved with a lot of Indian pen makers, as Larry and I know, and we've discussed before. I have Yovo compatible nibs too that I will also stock and list, and you can check them out as well. I have them in extra fine, fine, medium, and broad as well. If you want a Yovo type nib, you know the U.S. source for Yovo nibs is having some issues. The nibs that I get do not come from them. They come from overseas. They're from a trusted source. They are from my Magna Carta source. They are known, trusted. They are set right. I double check them. We can do overnight feeds. You know, we can do anything you want. All you have to do is contact me and ask. There will be an upcharge, of course, for all that, but well worth the price if you need it. Larry, that's where I'm at with all of my custom work, my exclusive and my custom nibs. Do you have any questions, my friend?
Yeah, so you have what, 6 or 8 pens left, right?
I have 6 pens left.
Okay, so
we can always get more. Right now, we're working on them.
So, okay, so if somebody orders a pen and they want it for Christmas, is it too late?
It is too late. I'm sorry to say. At this point, it is. Yeah. I will ship priority. I did actually cut off the deadline for that last week. I'm sorry to say it is too late at this point. Priority mail, you know, even locally before this, you know, when I would send something off to Philly, it would get there the next day. It's taken a couple of days, you know. So at this point, we're looking at 3 days. When I do my labels, they pretty much say 3-day priority these days. It's hard to find 2-day priority, but you can still find them if they're within 100 miles. But pretty much anything other than that now is 3-day priority.
So you're the only one that has any to sell. Jim doesn't.
Yeah, this pen that you see, this Stars and Stripe, is exclusive to me. Jim is involved with a pen brand now, which we're going to segue into in a little bit.
Right.
We're going to get into what Jonathan Brooks did with Carolina Pen Company in a minute. And I know you have it and you're excited about it. We're real happy for Jonathan, and we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yes.
Jim is getting involved with a brand. I'm not going to reveal it because he hasn't yet. And the ink's just dry on this. The ink's just getting dry on that. You're going to be very happy to hear who Jim Hines has been involved with, who has trusted Jim Hines with his blanks to make pens. We're going to get into that. That being said, Jim has grandfathered me and a couple of other dealers with pens. Jim is no longer allowed to collaborate with a pen dealer based on this agreement. I am the one who has this dark blue nib agreement with him. I will be able to make this and any other color pen that I decide I want to make with him with this trim level, with this dark blue clip and dark blue nib. Right now, I love Stars and Stripes. Again, keeping with our patriotic theme. People that know me know that I still send you everything with red, white, and blue on it. My mailing label has red, white, and blue on my stickers and on some of my other literature and all, so we have that. So I'm sticking to that patriotic theme. I was real happy with this outcome. This came out terrific. This is my pen. We can always make this pen. That's why we didn't individually number them, make them saying that they're limited run. We made a first run. If it goes very well, we will make more.
All right, then. So there you heard it. So, folks, if you want a pen like this, it's up to you. It's is it well worth it? But yeah, the pen will speak for itself. There's nothing that I can do, Frank can do, Jim can do. Only this pen can do. Speaks for itself. And once you write with it, it's going to be talking to you. Then you're going to say, incredible pen, affordable price, win-win, everybody's happy. Bam, got yourself a custom-made pen, right? From that little guy in Texas. Right. Certainly. There. All right.
A little pen shop in Texas.
That's right. That's right. KH. Yes, yes. So, Jim, I hope you like this video.
I'm sure he will. Very happy. Maybe we could have him on again sometime. We could have him on again sometime. That'd be good.
We'll talk. Yeah.
Good. Good. All right. Bring out your beauty. Bring out the latest one that you got from me. Let's talk about it.
I got the prepping. All right.
Preppy WA is a nice pen. Yep. Here we go.
All right, here we go.
The next star.
Look at this beauty.
Okay. That is the Visconti, Medici, or Medici, however you want to pronounce it.
Medici, yeah.
The Medici Astral Pen. That is the blue one. It comes
gorgeous blue. Gorgeous.
That comes as Nova Blue, as you see there, or Stellar Red. I have both here. Since you have the blue, I am going to take out the red. Larry, I know when you see this, you're going to be like, I should have got that one too. And this
look at that, baby.
This is the red. Now, you really have to see these in person to really appreciate how much glitter is in this.
They're beautiful. They're beautiful.
They are beautiful.
Beautiful pen.
The resins from this are sourced from our very own Jonathan Brooks, Carolina Pen Company, right here in the US. Yes, Jonathan Brooks. Coles of London is the Visconti USA distributor. They collaborated with Jonathan to have these resins made. They then took these resins, sent them off to Italy, where they were turned for the Medici pen and sent back, of course. They are very limited. There's only 120 examples of each. Larry got it just around the same time as I did.
Yep.
Me and Larry know. Larry has an understanding with me. As soon as a Visconti pen like that comes out, he wants it. So
Done. Over.
I tell my rep to mail it off. My rep is actually pretty much like, Frank, my rep is like, are we sending this off to Larry? And I'm like, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I don't even have to ask him.
I don't even have to ask. I don't even have to ask, basically.
Yeah,
And
this is
my
it.
rep had him on as well. Yep.
Boy, would I get agitated if he didn't do that? I was like, Frank, why did you do that? I don't know. They didn't have blue. I don't care. But isn't it a stunning color? God, it's beautiful. Yeah, Mr. Announcer thought he loved it too. This thing is just beautiful pen.
So Nova Blue.
Great job.
Or red.
Yeah.
If you want it, like I said, every dealer has a limited copy of it because there's only 120 made. That's all they're making. When they're sold out, they're sold out. So if you want it, check it out. It's on my site. I have them.
And I'll be reviewing this pretty soon. This is
Reviewing the pen. Good.
Beautiful.
Good.
Yeah, I did a mail call on it, and I just can't wait to get my ink in here. It's stunning fountain pen. Just Lord, the kind you want to just put in your pocket right there and keep it.
I appreciate you and everything you've done. I appreciate your mail call. I saw that. It was a very lengthy mail call to talk about getting the Heinz pen, about getting this pen. I think you got something from somewhere else too. It might have been Lena from Pen Boutique too. All good, all great, all good people. Appreciate all the kind words you said about me and my family and all at the end. I know you're going through a lot, and I really appreciate what you're going through and your struggle and everything you've done and everything you still do.
Well, and I thank you for that, Frank, but people have to understand too, this relationship works both ways. Frank has helped me a lot, for real. I need things to review the show, and without that, all you're gonna see is my beautiful face. But that's really all you need. So anyway, so Frank is always there, and he has helped me out a lot. So in fact, he gets tired. Oh no, it's Larry again. So what does he want now? And sometimes when I have to send it back, I just buy it. Isn't that right? I just can't send it back. That's the bad part. That is the bad part. After you review the pen, it's just like, no, it's not going back. So Frank does that intentionally. That's not fair.
He knows what he's doing. So again, feel free to contact me. It's federalistpens.com. My literature, which these guys have as well, that was my old URL, federalistpensonline.com. Both will get you there. When I switched to Shopify, I shortened it to federalistpens.com. There's my 800 number, 866-746-4900. You can call me toll free anywhere. Again, call me. Feel free to ask any questions. Always there. Again, I am, first and foremost, a hobbyist. I love what I do. This is a business for me now. I do this full time. I go to pen shows. I run things. I help out the Philadelphia Pen Club. I do what I can for the Philadelphia pen community. I am the Philadelphia Pelican Hub Master. I am confident we're going to have one this year. And again, looking forward to getting back to my 11 or 12 pen shows this coming year in 2022. The Philly Pen Show, like I mentioned, does run. Yes, there is a mask requirement. And also per Philadelphia requirements, if you do come to the Philly show and you go out and about, you may be asked to show proof of vaccination when you go to restaurants. That is what's going on out and about inside the Philadelphia metropolitan area.
Okay. All right. So, Jim, how long have you been doing this now?
Right.
I'm sorry, Frank. Jim, I call you Jim. Oh, sorry, I got Jim on the brain.
As an official retailer, as a legitimate retailer, I'm a legitimate businessman since 2015. I came up with the idea in 2014. It is not easy. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. You want to start a business, you got to go through a lot of hoops. You got to decide on the name. You got to get with distributors. You know, there's a license requirement. You know, I deal with the same people that everybody else does.
And it's not cheap to get in.
It's not cheap. We all know each other. We all know who we buy from. We all have to buy from the same dealer unless we're dealing with independents. You know, everyone here is well aware of my success with independent people. Robert Oster, Hiram Tanakara from Magna Carta. You know, I have bought brands here to the U.S. It takes longer to deal with these people directly. They don't have U.S. distributors. Some of them don't want distributors. They want to maintain that independence. It just takes longer to get the product, and of course, more shipping costs from overseas, and that's fine. But most brands, most major brands do have a U.S. distributor, a vendor, and we all deal with them. We all sign the same agreement. We all agree that we either can discount 20% max or not discount. If you see a pen that's not discounted, that's because that brand does not want us discounting it. We all have to abide by that. That being said, of course, if you visit my site, you go to checkout, you enter a code such as Larry, you can get an extra 10% off, no matter what product you've bought. That goes for my regular, sale, and closeout items. That has nothing to do with the agreements made with these vendors. Wink, wink.
Cool. So, okay, look, when you go to Frank's site, don't be like me because, you know, I don't know how I do it.
Don't overpay.
I go to his site and I'm looking for something and it's not there. Well, I just saw it on Facebook or somewhere, Instagram, wherever I seen it. And I know it's there, and I said, he doesn't have it on his site. So I get back to Frank. I said, Frank, where's that pin you said you settled on? It's on my site, Larry. I said, no, it's not. I was just there. I said, it's on there, Larry. Put it on there. So I go back to his site, right? And I look, damn, right?
I try to make it easy as possible. I will admit, being a one-man shop is not easy. Sometimes,
let me tell you about
yes, I will put things on there knowing we're going to be talking about it. I will do that. I have been caught doing that.
So I do want to mention this because it's important, at least it's important to me. Frank sent me some preppies a while back, the newest preppies. Now they went up some, but we all knew that since last year that this price was coming. So no one should be shocked because it's just not Frank, it's everybody down the road. So, you know, when I'm asked for a starter pen, I always say Lamy or Metropolitan. You know, it just hit me today. I've never mentioned this really as a great starter pen. I mean, talking about affordable, what, $7 or so? Something like that. I mean, it's so if you lose a pen, break a pen, you don't have money invested in this pen that you're going to go, oh, I'll let money invested. That's one. Or if you don't like the pen, you don't have that kind of money invested in it. But when you get this pen, really, you're going to love this pen. At least I think you will. Now, some people have to bond to it. You know, at one time I didn't like a fine nib or extra fine nib, and I still don't. But if they're smooth and they're wet, I love them. This pen is a jewel. And I've had comments saying, well, Larry, all you do is carry around, you know, high-end pens, mid-range pens. You know, I don't. I've been carrying this around for about a week now. Can't put it down. It's a great, fun pen. We need to get this in our hand. This is a great, fun pen. Forget about it's not a high-end pen. Forget about it. That doesn't have all the bells and whistles. Yes, it's just plastic. Yes, it just has a little converter in there. Well, a cartridge rather. Or you can make it into an ink dropper. Whatever turns you on. This is a great pen. And of course, Frank is selling them. Yep. Now they only come in one size. You only have one size nib, right, Frank?
Yeah, they only came one size. That's the WA model. WA.
Yeah, he doesn't. I mean, he doesn't have that luxury. I want this. It's whatever they send you, you get. Well, it's for him, and that's it. But I'm telling you, great pens. They're just a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Really, it really is. If you haven't got one, get one. If you got one, get another one. If you got another one, get the newest one. Not going to break your pocketbook, please.
They came fine point. They came in 6 colors, and they're trying to look like maquille, you know. So preppies are preppies. They have a basic preppy. They have the WA. They have the Prefonte, which comes in a blister pack, which is considered like the adult preppy. They come in $10. And then there's the Plaisir, which is the aluminum body one. All have the same front section, basically. That can come extra fine, fine, or medium. Someone, like we mentioned here with the WA, only comes fine. The biggest complaint about them is, of course, no converter, but the converter is $10. And for 3 of them, the converter costs more than the pen. So, you know, it's just not worth it, you know. They'd have to raise the price of the pen, obviously.
But if you want to buy a converter, you can. I mean,
You can also eyedrop. You can eyedrop with those pens. No problem.
For me, I don't care. If I want a converter for this pen, I'll get one. I mean, because I like the pen. You know, it's all about what you like. Forget if somebody tells you, why are you going to spend so much money for a converter? But I like the pen. It's my pen. It's my thing. So you do what your mind tells you, not what other people tell you. You know, for real though, great pen, affordable price. Yeah, I'm going to use it. And then if I want, I can just refill the cartridge on it with another color of ink.
Sure. Use a syringe. Exactly.
There's many ways to do this, not just one. So it's time to get in gear with the new year. If you're going to get in gear, you got to start with this. This is my recommendation.
New year. There you go.
Right here, it's going to be my new year. And it'll be coming up. This pen, a great starter pen, or a great everyday writer, at least my opinion.
Excellent.
And if you want to get fancy, go buy Jim Hines pen. There you go.
Ta-da.
And then you want to take care of that pen, because if you break it or lose it, oops.
Definitely.
They'll sell you another.
Definitely. This is the fine point stub. And, you know, a stub and a fine point actually is a pretty good writer. Really is. You get that nice flat sweet spot surface.
Yep.
And that's pretty good.
Yep. So, Mr. Frank, you got anything else you'd like to share with these cool people?
These people are great. Been very good to me. Your club, your community has been very good. I'm glad to be part of it. I'm glad. I appreciate.
I want to make everybody clear.
Yep.
You know, I do mention Pen Boutique a lot, but I do mention Federalist Pens and Paper. I do buy a lot from Frank.
Sure.
Well, first of all, he's my friend, and I just don't throw him under a bus. You know. And then Lena's my friend. I just don't throw her under a bus. You know, I'm going to treat them right. They treat me right, okay? So I'm treating them right.
And as everyone here is aware, everyone here is aware, you know, I mentioned Lena first. You know, I help people. If I can't help you, I'm going to steer you in the right direction. You know, that's no BS. You ask anybody at Pen Show, they'll tell you. I am the big dealer now at most pen shows that I attend. I do 5 tables. I bring a lot of merchandise. You know, I have 50 brands, no joke. I am not blowing smoke when I tell you that I bring nearly 6 figures of merchandise to a pen show. It's not easy. It's no small feat. And, you know, I come to these pen shows. I come there to sell, obviously. But if I can't help you, I will steer you in the right direction. Everybody around me knows that.
Yeah.
If conversely, of course, if I don't have it, you probably don't need it.
And if he doesn't know where to send you to find it, then they don't know either.
They don't know either.
Yeah, because they ain't gonna know till they get it. You know, so that's just how it is. I mean, for some reason, the U.S. doesn't really get the first choice. It's cost seats to get first choice, and then they send, I call leftovers. It's left. And then you say, I like a broad, medium, and extra fine. Well, all we have is medium. Okay. And I like to have at least 40 of those. I can give you 10. 10. That's it. Take it or leave it. I mean,
that's the only problem when things are limited run. Exactly. If they're not limited run, you know, we can accommodate them. Time's all it takes. Yep.
So that's just how it is. It's not because they want to do it or they don't want to buy anymore. They can't.
Right.
That's the end of the story. And
There's
then they
always
try to
agreement.
order some more. It just all depends.
That brand only sold so many, only made so many, and they're only going to sell so many. We talked about that. We just had John Ryan again on from Lamy.
Yeah.
We only got so many of them 2000 limited edition colors, again, and we didn't get what we were promised. And that was the worst part.
Right. And John's a great guy. John is a great guy. I mean, I love seeing him on, Yeah.
I got a lot of Johns in my life as far as vendors go. I have to keep all of them in track.
John is cool. Hey, John from Lamy, you rock.
Yeah, that's John from Lamy. I got John from Kohl's. I got John from Luxury Brands. Yeah, Bryce's dad. Yeah, exactly.
He rocks too now. Yeah, okay, I said it.
You remember we had him on? Yep.
He'll be on again too.
Yep.
He will be back. He will be back. Trust me. Yep. Again, folks, before we say goodbye, adios, for the real side, on a serious note, I'm totally impressed with the pen. It's got my attention. Feels good. It really feels good. You can just feel the pen in your hand.
I was really pleased. It was worth the wait.
You can feel the love in this pen. You can feel the work that he puts in these pens. It's a lot of work to create a work of beauty and a fine writing instrument. And this is what Hughes has delivered. Not your everyday pen, mind you, okay? You can't go out and just buy another pen like this. Not like this. You can't, because Jim's the only one that makes it. End of story, right? So when we hang up on this video, I hope you're done thinking. It's time to buy one. For real. Yeah, it's close to Christmas. Treat yourself. They're not that bad in price. They are a decent price. And you're going to get your money's worth plus, right? Well, that's all I've got to say, Mr. Jim Hughes. Thank you for the creation. Keep creating, be creative. And like I've told you many years ago, step out of that box still. Yep. Yeah.
If you want an American pen, you're buying from a maker. You're buying from a pen maker. You're buying from people like Jim Hughes, Jonathan Brooks, Scott Franklin, Sean Newton.
Well, you better buy from Bo John, the salesman.
Buy from everybody. Yep.
You better buy from Bo John. I said that to Bo John. Yeah.
Just like I mentioned, when I make this pen, especially if it gets ground by Mark Backus, I'm supporting 3 additional people besides me. You're supporting 4 livelihoods if you buy this pen totally customized for that $280 price point. And like I said, I'm making the same amount of money no matter if you buy it with a regular nib or with a ground nib, because the price I'm charging you for the grind is basically the price that you're paying extra for that nib, that $30.
Yeah, and before I go, one last thing, then I'm going to cut it. When I got with Jim Hughes back in 2015, and we grew together ever since, I told Jim, one day this is going to pay off. One day they're going to notice you, Jim, because of the quality work you do. You make them one at a time. I said, and you put a lot of your heart and soul in these pens. I said, you wait and see, Jim. The time will come that you're going to be recognized. And the time has come. So, am I surprised? No. Am I shocked? No. I'm just saying it's about time. It is about time to get Hughes involved, All right. Anything for you, Mr. Frank?
No, Larry, I appreciate everything. Happy shopping, guys. Remember, federalistpens.com. Call me on the 800 number, 866-746-4900. Email me, Frank at federalistpensonline.com. All good.
Okay, folks, you heard it here on Larry's Fountain Pen Review on Zoom Pen Hangout. You've heard it. Now, you do what you think you're going to do. Buy a pen. Frank's there waiting. Peace and love, everybody. Take care. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Bye-bye.